Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon edition. My name is Issa Nuo. Today we shall be discussing issues that pertains to how our state resources have been managed. Nigeria have 36 states, including the FCT, making it 37. And across all the states, we have resources that can be used to further enhance development in all sectors. But then, as you know, classical and contemporary understanding of government emphasize the existence of the socio-political structures and processes that authoritatively determine the allocation of societal values. Stretched further, the institution called government is necessary to resolve or manage conflicts between groups within a society by making decisions which are enforceable without necessarily using force. This makes for the organization of the society for the ultimate good of all public good. Almost every society is made up of economic, political, cultural, religious, and professional groups. The activities of these groups are often managed in an institutionalized system in which three main organs are prominent in most modern societies. The three organs known in many places as legislature, executive, and judiciary are in charge of formulating policies, implementing such policies, and rendering advice as well as relevant suggestions, and also adjudicating as well as interpreting for reconciliation in cases of conflict, respectively. Although societies vary as to how these important organs operate, it is common, especially in democracies, for them to have distinct sphere of operation so as not to concentrate all powers in a single institution or individual. However, this does not imply acrimony as the arms of government and other relevant agencies, which operate in between, primarily exist for the good of all. So the question is, with what we have in the country, knowing fully well that these three major structures are there, then what is happening across states? Why are we putting more emphasis on what happened with the federal government? Despite the fact that, yes, it is also very important that, yes, we put our eyes or we raise our questions on issues that happen across within the federal government. But then we seem to have lesser attention on what happened across the states in Nigeria. So today we'll be discussing issues on how we can make sure that, yes, even the state institution can also work. Because just like the federal government, in the state, we also have the governors, we have the speakers of House of Assembly, and then we also have the chief judge. So why is it that we don't have efficient system that can help in promoting good governance across the state? Or why are we not making the system very efficient in such a way that we can have good governance for the betterment of our people? So this is what we'll be focusing on today. And when we return back from the break, definitely our guests will be discussing on issues that pertains to what we've raised earlier.
Mr. President, last Saturday, the country which I have the honor to represent, the Federation of Nigeria, became independent and assumed the rights and the responsibilities of a sovereign state. Today, Nigeria has been admitted into the United Nations organization and assumes still more responsibilities. I wish to make our position plain beyond any matter of doubt as regards the African continent. We in Nigeria appreciate the advantages which the size of our country and of its population give us, but we have absolutely no aggressive intentions. We shall never impose ourselves upon any other country and shall treat every African territory, big or small, as our equal, because we honestly feel that it is only on that basis of equality that peace can be maintained in our continent. We in Nigeria are a populous country. There are about 40 million of us, and our territory is relatively large. we are willing to learn before we rush into the field of international politics. But we are totally unwilling to be diverted from the ideals which we think true. That is the reason, Mr. President, why we in Nigeria shall not be found to align ourselves as a matter of routine with any particular bloc. Indeed, I hate the very idea of blocs existing at all in the United Nations. It seems to me to be a contradiction in terms. When we hear the world crying out for peace, we may receive the inspiration to deal with these intractable problems and be able really to devote all our resources to the advancement of mankind by applying those eternal truths which will inevitably persist long after we ourselves are utterly forgotten. Thank you, Mr. President.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
Yeah, welcome back from that mild break that we had to take. And now we have our guest in the house, but nobody but Alhaji Ibrahim Aminu, trader. Alhaji Ibrahim Aminu, trader, is an astute grassroots politician, and also at the same time is an expert when it comes to issues that has to do with housing. Some other day we have you here, and we discuss issues that pertains to housing in Nigeria, and you did raise your fears, and also at the same time you also brought out solutions on how we can resolve issues that has to do with housing. But today we are here on a different note. The issue of governance is very, very important, and you know, when issues of governance have been discussed, it concerns everybody, not to talk of those who are also stakeholders in it, of which I believe you are also part of them. So what is your perception about how states are being managed in Nigeria?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, afternoon again. Yes, the misgovernance and the also mismanagement of the Nigerian resources, and the problem of Nigeria is the state governors. And that is why some of us are really keen to see that we have come on board so that we can change the narrative. A lot of people coming to be governors, they have not understand what governance is, and also they have not understand the management of the state resources and what democracy is all about. It happens I'm a consultant. I don't want to mention here, but I went around all the 773 local governments, minus the other local government that was sent to Cameroon. The thing is pathetic, and the situation is so bad that when I submitted my report to one of the present governors, he was sitting as I'm sitting. He has to stand up because the reality is that the governors were given so much powers, and the check and balance in the states is not working, and nobody is checking. They were given too much excessive powers. Because as I say, I went to a state that has 20 local governments. And when I did my assessment, the state is receiving about 2 billion, 2+ billion naira monthly allocation. But my assessment, I find out that 6 billion naira will revolutionize that state. Because what we understand, like I say, I don't want to mention the state. Yeah. What we understand is that the needs of human being, first is water. Second, what you need to give him is health, amenities. Then third, you have to give him training, which is education. Education comprises entrepreneurship. Third is to give him support. Fourth is to give him support to practice what he learned. And none of this is in existence in all the Nigerian states. Governors are busy building roads. I'm very unfortunate. The electorates are clapping for them. All the roads they build, if you go to the contract, to the bill of quantity, you find out the road is like this. Then the governor, that is where they receive their kickbacks. Will receive his own kickback, the road will come back like this. The commissioners and directors will also receive their own. The contractor and the supervising engineers, this is how it is. And people will be clapping that this governor is, yeah, roads are good. You have to open access to market for people to participate to do their economic activities, to create wealth. But how? At what cost? When you go, you find out that a lot of healthcare centers, a lot of primary schools, those that are on the road are repaired. But those that are inside, in the hinterland, inside that people doesn't know, you find 1 year, 2 years, nobody is there. This is, I'm telling you, it is one of the performing governor in northern Nigeria. We see him as performing governor. What of others that we don't see? We think that they are not performing. I went to another state in Northeast. Even the chairmen are complaining because they only receive their salaries. Because of joint account. The joint account is the thing that killed Nigeria. Whoever inserted it, he has, I can't imagine, I can't know the word I will say, because it's a thing that undermines democracy in Nigeria, that a governor should do a joint account. Because money is not reaching the right people. Most of the chairmen are either installed or they are either sole administrators. So everybody is fearing. And some of these people, if the governors give them the money, then there is a way the governors took it back again. They write bogus things they did, and that is all because it is the state governors that check them. So it's a calamity for Nigeria. And giving the governors too much powers is also a calamity for Nigeria. That is why no president can work. Even if the President Buhari cannot work under this dispensation, because President Buhari has given directives for local government to be independent so that money can go, so that jobs can be done, primary schools can be repaired, water can be accessed by the locals. They can be able to construct they can be able to repair some boreholes. Health centers, when you go, they are dilapidated. There is a lot of, when I went, all the ceiling, all the roofing is down. It's even the grasses. And there are staffs, which they are paying.
You've raised issues that has to do with check and balances. And we know definitely, virtually in all governance, at the federal and the state, we know we have the executive, we have the judiciary, and then we have the legislature. And that should serve as a structure that also does check and balances. So why do you think we don't have that in place when it is stipulated and very clear?
That is the reason I have said the whole problem is at the state government level. The problem of Nigeria lies at the state government level because there is no senator that will come to Senate without the support of the governor. There is no House of Reps that will come to the House without the support of the governor. And there is no State Assembly that will come without the state support of the governor. So who do you think will betray the governor?
But we've seen situations where some people contest and then they win even when they are in opposition party.
The opposition, how many of them? The only opposition, it is all the same. The politicians are all the same. They are not for the service of the people. I cannot say all, but few knows that they came to serve. It is a business. industry in Nigeria. That is only business. Because the industries has been bastardized. So no any industry that is so lucrative like when you say that you are a politician, and that is when you make money, that is when you use your office to make money, that is when you have, so, and nobody challenges. The worst part of it, even the elites are part of it. And the populace are not educated, are not sensitized. The NGOs are useless. They are the one to sensitize the people, tell them what to do, how to do it. But to nobody. Everybody I know who is contesting for House of Reps. He doesn't have a house. He is on a rented apartment. Overnight we see you buy a house of 500 million and we are clapping. You have arrived. You are riding a car of 80 million, 40 million, 100 plus million. You have all the securities around you to guide you. You have so many people clapping, coming to you, assisting me, assist. So people also are also encouraging the corruption. But it's lack of education. But the reality is, what is the functions? Who check that this money really goes to you? And if it goes to the local government, what does it do? That is why President Buhari said that the money must go to local government. Why the governors will refuse?
Because that has been a long tussle for some time now. And at a point, the enforcement was trying to be there. And at the same time, you also go back to the, some of these rulings, when it happens in the National Assembly, it goes back to the state. And even the states that are supposed to, the state legislatures that are supposed to look into these issues and approve them in such a way that it will better them and better the system, they also overturn it in favor of them.
That is what I'm saying. Everybody in the state assembly is in the pocket of the governor. He can recall you even if you are a senator. He can recall you. If you are in the house, he can recall you. If you are in the state assembly, it's easy. How many speakers were impeached? By state governors. You, the media, what is your contribution to that? What is your contribution to political enlightenment for the people? As a media, what did you do? How? Go to the rural areas. In Nigeria, we have 3 countries.
You said 3 countries, and
yes.
You have one, only Nigeria.
No. We are all deceiving ourselves. We have Nigeria, but we have 3 countries in Nigeria. We have the rich and the influential country. We have a poor country. And we have very unserved country.
Very unserved.
Very unserved. Poor is you and me who are getting some.
You place yourself in my cadre. Maybe that will be relative. Yes. But then, no problem. I think you've raised critical issues, and you know these issues are very, very important, because whenever we discuss the issue of states, it beats my imagination that you still see some state capital. Till this moment, you start assuming, are these people worthy of being called a state? The infrastructures are not there. The agriculture, where they even have fertile lands, are not there. So these are critical issues that we would like to discuss more, because we've also raised one major issue that has to do with check and balances. And this is one aspect that we need to unbundle, so that we get to know how can we correct this defect in our system. So we'll go on a very short break, and definitely we will return back and continue with the conversation with Alhaji Aminu Ibrahim Trader on issues that pertains to how we make our system work, most especially at the state government level where we've known that for some time now, there has been major focus on the federal government. Then we have to refocus on the state. So we'll go on this short break.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come may be affected by the wisdom which we here display. If Nigerian leaders and our British partners are to prove themselves worthy of their trust, now is the time for us solemnly and truly to dedicate ourselves to seeking the greatest good of the greatest number of our people in Nigeria. Independence for Nigeria in 1960 is imperative. But independence for Nigeria as a corporate entity is not enough. The peoples of Nigeria must at the same time be guaranteed their freedom. We must ensure that in an independent Nigeria, individual citizens throughout the land enjoy liberty, human dignity, and equality under the law. There must be one Nigeria with one constitution and one law for all. Let us therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, close our ears to the counsel of despair, which says that we cannot here at this conference agree on a constitution. If there's any doubt among us as to what should be written into the constitution, let us, as Democrats that we profess ourselves to be, refer such problems, as de Gaulle has done recently, to the people whom we profess to represent, either just before or at the federal elections late in 1959.
Welcome back, and stay with me here in the studio is Alhaji Aminu Ibrahim Trader, discussing on issues that has to do with governance. And just like I said before now, governance is very, very important, most especially at the state level. And he's giving us inkling on the possible challenges that are being faced in state governance. And as a result of that, we've raised issues, or he has raised issues that pertains to the issue of state joint account between the local government and then the state governors, which the local governance at that particular helm is not actually carrying out the needed development at their own hand of governance. So if I will ask this same question, you see the issue of poverty is one major issue. And the essence of governance is to address some of these issues or create a very good foundation or a very good structure where people can be able to carry out businesses and then reduce these issues that has to do with poverty. So now, if local government is finding it difficult to access funds, how can there be good governance across the states?
It's okay. The local government will never have peace and will never have good governance as far as there is going to be an interference by the state governors. As far as people cannot choose what they like and who they want to become their governor, or to become their local government chairman. As far as it is the state governor that will select the person he likes, whether the local government people like it or they don't. It's the son of the godfather that will be there. So you can understand that that person knows that he is not answerable to people. He's only answerable to his governor who installed him, because he knows that he was not chosen. He was chosen by one person, and he has to do to his bidding. And he knows that tomorrow to pick this my capital, this is difficult than removing a local government chairman from a governor. So this is what makes things unworkable, difficult, and making it making all the mismanagement of the resources.
Do you see the possibility that in the future there will be that strong term to really separate the state governors and the local government?
So, you see, the situation I didn't know. It all depends on the Nigerians. The problem is in us. Everybody is corrupt.
Are you one of them?
Yes.
You're also corrupt?
Yes. Because I cannot exonerate myself. Exonerating myself is selfish. Because why I have said I cannot say all are corrupt. But I cannot exonerate myself. I'm part of Nigeria. And as far as the majority, the characters, our characters is, we don't ask, how do you make it? We only celebrate criminality. We don't ask questions. And we don't punish for doing wrong. As far, whatever you do, you make money, we celebrate you. We give you chieftaincy title. We give you our daughters to marry. We hail you. I can remember where is this man come? This man that, Ebenidino.
Yeah, Edo State.
Edo State. When some women came out naked, they say that it is their money. He should not be jailed. I can remember the same thing happened to Dare. The same thing happened to the person after Dare in Plateau. When they were jailed, people came out say that, no, it is our money. Whatever they do, they can do. They were naked.
So the people are part and parcel of this problem we are facing.
Part and parcel. That is why I say, use the media. What did you do?
We create
you must create. You must create awareness with the local languages, so that people can understand. You must do at least 30% of your time during the Enlightenment, so that people can understand their right. What they are doing is wrong. Somebody that steals your money, you are saying that he has the right to steal the money. And somebody that steals your money, you are always hailing him, giving him chieftaincy title.
But my fear here is that even if we know that we have to enlighten those at the local level, yes, even those, we've seen legislatures, yes, in states turning their rights away from themselves, and they're educated.
That is what we are saying. When you educate, we are not saying all of them will accept.
Okay.
It's a continuous process. I left politics in 1987, and I joined politics this year.
Of which I am aware you are contesting for governor.
I'm contesting for governor. I'm not saying that it's a do or die affair, but I have to contribute to the change process. One day the change will come, but some of us, if we sit at home and we demand, we say, no, we are abusing the people that are doing the wrong, and we are not coming. The right people are not coming out. I'm more transparent than Buhari. I'm the only person that was investigated for 13 years, set up 18 committees, which all the 18 committees exonerated me from the wrongdoing for 28 years.
In this 28 years, you mean?
In 13 years, I was being investigated by 18 committees. All the 18 committees, none of them induct me. I was asked to be returned to office, and to pay my entitlement since 2007, signed by the president. Up to now, I was not being reinstated. And since 1994, up to date. This is to tell you that how rotten the society, how rotten the civil service, how rotten every sector, you know, is. Now it's 28 years after service. But up to now, I have not gotten. Now, between 2007 to date, it's almost 15 years. That report signed by the president, copied and directed by the head of service to my agency, up to now it is not implemented. So what are you going to say?
So now, if you are one of the contestants for the 2023, of which you are,
yes,
what have you seen differently that you think you would have to fix? And I believe you are from Katsina State, where people do applaud your state in terms of leadership.
As I told you, I'm coming to see that I make the difference, I make the change, I contributed to no politics of money, because everybody knows in Nigeria when you don't have money, you are just a joker. And that is what people told me. I say, yes, I'm a joker. But one day we are going to change this money politics, because it is when you have money, irrespective of where you get it, you come to power. And you must, first of all, when you come to power, you must get back your money, you must profit from that money, and you must project another money that will take you to another election. And this is Nigerian money. And that is why there is all these constituency projects, all these things that are killing us. Somebody will give constituency project, and somebody, the same person that gives the constituency will call the contractor, he will sign the certificate of completion. And you, the contractor, you go and collect money. And that project is unfinished and it has gone, and the money has gone. And that is, there are a lot of cases in that.
Is that what you've seen that made me to say you have to fix issues like this? That's why you are on the
Not
panel.
only that. The leadership is inept, is corrupt, and they don't have the capacity. It's not everybody that will come to say, I am going to be a governor. Governorship is not easy. And it's not everybody that will say, I will represent my people, or I will become a senator. But now everybody that has, it's when you have money, you can do, you can become a leader, you can buy your leadership. There must be some set rules that the society should have, qualify everybody before becoming a leader that will either represent them or that they can trust to give him leadership. But very unfortunate, we are in a situation where I told you, I say we are all corrupt in one way or the other. So that is why, and the culture has been with us. It's not the culture of Nigeria. It's not the culture of Nigerians. But with some time, it was impacted on us. And it was imported and passed in on us. Since when we were rejecting, and now it has become a normal life with us. But, you know, with time, Nigeria is not going to be like this. No matter what, this artificial creation of becoming rich overnight will crash. and people will come to face the reality. And this is what people have started to understand. All this thing that you see, the insecurity that is happening, is a manifest of our own management of resources and the people, because we can manage them, we can manage our resources, and there must be some consequences, and these are the consequences. Hunger is there, strikes are there, unemployment is there, illiteracy is there. If you go, I am a student of science and engineering, even though I'm a social scientist too. But I know that what I know when we are in the university, the student of sociology didn't know it now. Because whenever I ask them, some of the books we read, they say they only hear the names. A lot of graduates are not educated. They are only they can only read and write, but they cannot analyze. The problems in Nigeria are too much to be mentioned here.
But what about your state? The problem of your state, is your state having a pending problem? You've had leaders like Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, you've had leaders like Ibrahim Shema, now you are having Governor Masari. So what do you think are the apparent challenges that your state is facing, and you feel you can address that if you are given the opportunity to serve your state, Katsina State? If you can help us to wrap that up so that we can call it a day.
It's okay. Problem of Katsina, number one, is education. Katsina, when Europeans came, they met us with our 3 universities, and that is why they first established Western education in northern Nigeria in Katsina, in order to dampen the Islamic education. It's the only town they met with 3 universities. And everybody knows Katsina with our culture of trying to see that we are educated. But as I'm telling you, we are the most, or one of the most backward states in terms of education since the creation of the state. So any society that is not educated is always backward. And why I am here? Because I'm educated. Why you are here? Because you are educated. Why all the people, the crew, the cameraman, all, they are here assisting us in one way or the other because they learn a trade of one thing or the other. Everybody can contribute and is contributing. So my main aim to be there is to make people to be educated, to have qualitative education, to be able to come and become entrepreneurs, to create wealth. That is the only solution. I'm trying to see that I create wealth through people. It is when people think that they can create wealth. It's not about giving them money. When you give somebody money, tomorrow if you didn't give him,
he will come back.
He will come back. But when you give somebody education, you liberated him. So that is my aim. The only way you can give people, and even if you give him education, I know that I cannot eat without washing my hand. I know I cannot drink water. No, I know I have to boil water before I drink. That is health and sanitation. So if somebody is educated, he will know that. I cannot pluck mango and take, I must wash it. This I'm telling you on the basic things. So I know that I'm educated. The way I will do it, if I'm educated, it's not the way you will do it. Because if you are not educated, you cannot think of the way to arrange things to do. It's the development of mind. Education is to develop the mind of somebody. Yeah. And it's not under most that because I'm educated, I must come and work in government. A lot of people are reluctant because the only thing is they see that it is an avenue to steal money. It's only when you join the government, you steal money. People are not really to face the challenges of life, to be able to do or to become an entrepreneur so that they can create wealth, so that they can train others. And this is how wealth is being created all over the world.
Okay, thank you so much, Alhaji Ibrahim Aminu, trader, for joining us this afternoon on the afternoon edition. You've said so much with respect to our system of governance in the state, and also you've raised critical issues on why you feel you can also fill the vacuum come 2023 during the gubernatorial election in Katsina State. Thank you once more for joining us, and we hope and we pray you have a better chance to succeed in the governance of Katsina State. This is how far we can go today on the afternoon edition. My name is Issa Nuhu. Stay blessed and have a wonderful day.